Hey, I'm Mike Baccarella, and today we're going to take a look at 3 really great chordal 2/5 lines from George Van Eps that you can use in your chord soloing, your comping, as well as your chord melody playing. Let's take a look. Before we get started, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. That really helps the channel to grow. And if you're new here and you enjoy this sort of content, I release new jazz guitar lesson videos every single week. So please be sure to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on my newest videos. And if you're interested in supporting me further, please consider checking out my Patreon. Over there, I release PDFs for each and every one of my lesson videos, as well as weekly jazz solo transcriptions. So for as little as $5 a month, you get access to over 100 lesson PDFs and over 100 solo transcriptions. There's a ton of stuff to practice there. Now let's get started. George Van Eps is easily one of the greatest guitar players that ever lived. He's just such an amazing player. His chordal stuff is unbelievable. The ease at which he did all this chordal stuff just blows my mind. And so I always have a lot of fun studying his written out etudes or the stuff out of his books. It's a really big challenge to get through that stuff, but it also opens up some really interesting possibilities in my playing every time I study one of these things. So today I'm excited to share 3 of the lines I've been working on recently. All 3 of these lines are over a quick 2/5 in the key of C major. So we have D minor 7, G7, C major 7. This first line is going to start here with this chord shape, where we're playing D on the 5th string, 5th fret with our 2nd finger, C on the 3rd string, 5th fret with our 3rd finger, and F with our pinky on the 2nd string, 6th fret. We're going to hold this chord down and with our pinky lift off and bar across with our 3rd finger and play that E. And then we're going to jump down to this A flat 13. Now for this A flat 13, we have barred across on the 4th fret with the 1st finger on the 6th and 4th string, and then our 2nd finger is on C on the 5th fret of the 3rd string, and our pinky is on F on the 6th fret of the 2nd string. And then we're going to grab the 4th fret of the E string with our 1st finger, which is still barred across. So here's the first 2 beats. Now this A flat 7 is functioning as the tritone sub for the G7 we're going to. A lot of times in the place of a D minor 7 G7, you'll see A flat 7 G7. So this is a really common substitute. And then from here we're going to go down a half step, just a G13 with that G on top. And then we're going to go over here to play a D flat 7, and we're going to play D flat with our 1st finger on the 4th fret, and then C flat or B natural with our 2nd finger on the 4th fret. And we'll grab F with our pinky on the 2nd string, 6th fret. So here's the G7 portion. Then we're going to land on this C major 7 voicing everyone knows. 3rd fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. So here's our full line. Now earlier I said we're playing over D minor 7, G7, C. So some of these chords don't seem to belong. So we have D minor 7. Then we go to A flat 7. That A flat 7 is a tritone sub of the D minor 7. And then we go G7, D flat 7. Well, that D flat 7 is a tritone sub of G. To create an interesting bass line, George Van Eps does these tritone subs. Now for this second example, we're going to play this D minor 11. We have D, C, F, G. And we're going to play the G twice. Meanwhile, sustaining the D minor 7 under it. Now while holding this G and this F here, we're going to move these 2 fingers to grab a G and a B, which turns us into a G7 voicing. And then we're going to shift our 1st finger up a fret to the A flat, which will be our flat 9. Then we're going to grab a C major 13 here. C, B, E, A. So here's the full line. Now what's really important to all 3 of these lines is sustaining the notes while you move the other notes around. So whether it's the higher note moving or the lower notes moving, sustaining the other notes so it sounds like a continuous sound. It's the closest thing we can do to approximating how a piano plays. This third example starts the same way that the previous one does, with a D minor 11. But we're going to start with just the D minor 7 portion. We're going to play just these 3 strings. And then we're going to go up to G, A flat, G on the second string while sustaining the D minor 7 under it. And then we're going to grab this D7 sharp 9. That's kind of Hendrix voicing. Now while sustaining the top note, we're going to move our bass note from G down to D, and then we're going to play D, B, F, and then bar across here, grab an A flat while sustaining these other 3 notes. And then we're going to grab a C major 7 to resolve. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these 3 George Van Eps lines. Now these are challenging. These are tough. To sustain notes while moving other notes around takes some real discipline in your fingers, but it's really good for you. It's great for your comping. It's great for your chord melody playing and your chord soloing, because moving notes around on top of chords or moving notes around under a melody can give you some really great movement in your playing. All these various George Van Eps etudes and exercises are great for this, as are the Jimmy Weibel counterpoint stuff. Working on Jimmy Weibel counterpoint stuff and the George Van Eps chordal stuff has completely transformed my chordal playing in a huge way, and I highly recommend it for everyone interested in this style of playing. So thanks for checking out today's lesson. Keep practicing. I'll see you next time.